This MEF here, MEF stands for Mother blah blah Flacas. Okay, let's be straight. Let's go straight to the point. So, day one, slave trade legacy. Brazil used it to confront its past crimes. Now, why should Brazil or Americas or even Europe pay for the crimes of the Arabs, given that it has been your Arabs, okay? You Arabs who started this fucking shit trade first, before the Occident ever dreamed of thinking about it, and before the new world war known as Americas. Right? Right or not? It's right, right? Huh? Think about the time of Mohammed, Jesus, Abraham, Moses, and many others, Isaac, and many others, where each of you owned plenty of his lives, and without tell that those same blacks worked for you Arabs, right? You, these blacks people worked for the Arabs and sold their own people to Arabs and others there in the Middle East. So in a way, you thought those stupid, some, not all, because those so-called Iberian that supposedly got involved into slave trade, or in some way Arabs, they wasn't white skinned at all. They were those hairy, how to say, the hominids, hairy chested and arms, hominids, okay, Homo erectus. They weren't at all white people. Jews, you Arabs, don't bring your sins upon other people. Face your own sin and crimes, okay? History crimes. Only because the stupid Brazilians are fool, that MEF men over there only know how to kill human alone. They are only brave towards human. So you think that you can say whatever. Well, I'm not that stupid as the common Brazilian man, alright? I'm not stupid. And I'm not crook like you. Because you want to place the blame into other people. Your own blame. And another thing, as I said, Jews who went to the Americas as Portuguese, as Lusitanian, as Hispanish, were not white skinned men. They were yellow bronzy men. Okay? Tanned men, yellow bronzed, dried, black haired, bearded men. Curly hair. They want the white man, the hairless one, the hairless type. They were what they call the Assyrians, the Arabics, the Moros, Moroccans, etc. Okay? They have fooled men, but they can't fool me. Not people like me. They can't. Nobody can. Okay? So, before you tell people to clean up their backyard, clean yours, which is filth. Because up to today, you is still enslaved to see black people. And apparently they love it. Because if they didn't, they wouldn't go to your land, to the Middle East, to be enslaved up to today. Okay, Arabs? Mohammed Kal. Now, let's look at this graphic from YouTube Arabic modern slave day, shall we? Slavery in the Middle East, Professor Thomas Oates, which is very rampant, okay, nowadays. 3 years ago, 1 year ago, thrown from the second floor. Now I'm exposing the secret lives of the Middle East. From near death fall to exposing the Middle East darkest secret. So who is this Pumis? The Pumis, British and DC Arab to come here to talk bad about Brazil or even ancient Romans or whatever people like Christopher Columbus, who was an Italian Spanish man, and I mean many other, Cristoforo Vespucci and Pedro Álvares Cabral, and I mean many others. Who are they? Huh? You need to clean your active force, man. You cannot try to clean other people's backside when yours is putrid, crap. Okay, smelly one. Horrific facts about Middle Eastern slave trade. Horrific facts. See, I think they learn from the best. They learn from Arab. If they really have happened this slavery, this transatlantic slavery, which sometimes I doubt, perhaps it's the one's low wage job, low wage where people work for penuries. It's like indentured worker. Yeah, I think that's just like something like that, where the people earn very little money, very little money, and work for long hours. So that was what we have long time ago. Look at today, modern slavery, the most afflicted countries. Where is it? Huh? The Middle East and North Africa, Asia Pacific, Russian and Eurasia, Europe, Sub-Saharan Africa, the Americas don't have. So which one is most? Europe, 1 million, 2017. In Europe, those who deal with slavery are those from outside. Those outside the Americas, 2 million something. Sub-Saharan Africa, 6 million. The Middle East and North Africa, 2 million 900 something. Asia Pacific, 30 million. My God. And I don't know, is it Russia 2 million something. So you see where there is modern slavery nowadays. Talk about slavery to the kafalas. Okay, I think that some black people have been crying, talk about things that's not true, fake tales, because they are good at talking BS so as to get appraisal and to get support and to get money, because all these people want is money in an easy life without having to work for it. Kafala system in Lebanon, modern day slavery, secret slave of the Middle East, all slave. When did slavery end in the Middle East? It never ended. Since prior the time of Mohammed, Jesus, Abraham, Moses, and they dare to talk about the West, which babish in a recent modern times compared with them. I don't know how many millions BCE. Have you no shame or intelligence to think about it and compare? The migrant slaves of the Middle East, the Arab slave trade, and the term slave come from Slavic and not black slave. No such thing as black slave. We have Slavic. See? They should know who is their master up to now. Who is enslaved them from the time of Mohammed, the time of Jesus, Moses. I'm not saying that Jesus had slave. No, I believe that Jesus had known. Muhammad did have slave. He had. He used it to have. Abraham also have. And the musas, and so I don't know, maybe yes, maybe no. Arabic before Islam. Inside Saudi Arabia, life between tyranny, slavery, and modernity. Yeah, the Ottoman Empire, still up to date, they still operate in Europe, in the Balkans. And where they operate, slavery never ended. $1,400. So who are they to talk bad about Americans and Brazil? Only because the stupid Brazilian men are not just coward, they are stupid. Who are they? Hey, and don't forget that Brazil opened their leg and their backside to you also come there. Okay? A lot of you, Lebanon, Syrian, and many others went to Brazil. Even nowadays, Egyptian and others, Arabs, Egyptians and others, goes to Brazil. So who are you to talk bad about this country? Who are you? You need to look at your own reflection on the mirror. Clean up your backyard first because it's dirty before you attempt to clean other people's backyard or other people's porch. Okay? Go and clean yours first. They also did to whites, but I believe they did worse to blacks. They even enslaved Asians as well. And I talk bad about the others have no shame, no shame. It's like they say the death fly pin called the kettle black. What the heck? This one was much earlier than the modern days, like those 500 years, 5 centuries of slavery on the past with the blacks. Before that they have enslaved the whites, and then they cover up, they deleted it from the annals of history because they didn't want it to come out, to be told. Okay? And the blacks, they worked for the Arabs in the past to do those jobs. You see here? You see here? Will you ever learn something from it? Or your stubborn, stupid ego will stay on the way from rationalize and from conscious thinking? How will it be? Because I believe you cannot rationalize. Your people cannot rationalize really. You don't have good cognitive resonance. You're not able to rationalize well and understand the facts, right? So you only believe to see, you never see to believe, because it's just like a religion. You only believe first and you see later. You don't see first and not believe later. So you take your ego and your fake truth as a religion. Okay? You always believe first because it will be easier for you to see later. Of course, the white men knows not all white men are good. That is for sure. However, you need not forget about the past, the ancient past where white human too were enslaved by Arabs, by fat Arabs men. And many others. I have seen it. I have been there. Right? So you're supposed to have more cognitive resonance before you come here and talk about other countries who is so modern compared to today's slavery.
Da Providência, Brazil's first favela or slum, it was built by enslaved people as soon as they were set free, but had nowhere to go, no land, no jobs. More than a century later, the scars of slavery and inequality.
And they have any Africa, ugly old human? Do they have any Africa? Do they have in Africa? Now you want to blame Brazil for those people inability to have their own livelihood, to work hard for it? Stupid, fake, blonde, ugly woman. This is not even Europe, she is mixed race. Come here and talk rubbish. Working for Arabs, trash. I cannot stand the stupidity, you know. I really can't. There must be limit. There must be some kind of counterattack against stupidity and false claims, like what these idiots are doing, are saying that because Brazil nowadays having blacks we still live in poverty. Well, not just blacks, but yeah, the majority lives in poverty as they do in Europe, as they do in Portugal, as they do in Spain, as they do in France, as they do in Africa, as they do in the Middle East. They just can't possible change their livelihood. They just possible seem to change it. You know, it's just like, is there something to do with their lineage, their destiny, or something like that? And wherever they go, they create favelas. The term favela comes from some Afro dialect in itself, which means slums, ghettos, slums. They went to North America, they too create Islam. They too created poverty. So, what can you say? What can you say now? Blame other people is easier. Everybody in most country, no matter which kind of continental country, they do suffer. They have tribulation. They have a lot of setbacks in life. They don't have to be black. They don't have to be purple. They don't have to be white. They don't have to be yellow. They don't have to be green. They just have to exist, to have setbacks and problems in life. Okay? So if you need to talk about how the black people live in Brazil, it's not all. They live comparable in a better condition than they would in Africa. And I mean not here in this Islam. Many other part of Brazil, they live in good houses. Okay? In many other part of Brazil. Not talk about Rio de Janeiro or São Paulo, but many other areas in Brazil. They live in a not a palace, not a mansion, but they do have a comfortable house, right? I could show you, but I don't know what I would find. I had this video about seeing black people live in a nice house, have a churrascaria where they could make barbecue, have barbecue pit, have swimming pool, and then come this trash here talk about Rio de Janeiro is all over Brazil. Rio de Janeiro is all that Brazil is. What the heck? I know since you are talking about, lady. Get real, stop talk bush crap.
They were set free, but
Buried in Americas, Europe, and especially South Africa. Vou find it out, okay? Because it exists. Ignorant ones. Don't take it. Receive it. Okay, receive it. Bunch of ignorant people. Instead of go in a search for ancient history, ancient appertaining to slavery prior to 500 years ago. The idiots talking the slavery they are talking about happened like 500,000 years ago, and not 500, just 500 years ago. Okay, so they just kind of they generalize everything so as to vindicate, to validate their stupid, biased, prejudiced narrative against a particular continent, in this case a country. Okay, go ask the Arabs um, for the permit of their history. Go ask the Arabs, go ask the various others, the British who also got into slave trade, the Russians, the Iberians, the other. Go ask them, why just the Americas? Why just Brazil? Huh? You stupid or what? Yeah, you seem like stupid. You act and you look like stupid. This is stupid tanned skin and ugly colored hair. Yeah.